First thing we do when we get a car in, obviously we wash it. Usually, even if it's fairly clean, we still wash it. Washing allows us to get an idea of areas that we're going to have to take care of while we're drying. You know, we see certain parts of the paint that may need attention. The next thing we'll do once we've got it cleaned off is we'll spray an iron and fallout remover on the car. And typically what you'll see is vehicles that even come from the factory have been transported on the rail system. And if you watched our video about ceramic coating and how ceramic coating works, you know that your paint is actually full of ridges, and iron can actually get stuck in that. And on lighter colored vehicles, if you've ever seen those tiny little pinprick rust spots, I'm not talking about completely rusted out cars, but those little rust looking spots that are the size of a needle, that is iron that has been embedded in the paint and started to rust. Now, on this car, we may not be able to see it, but the iron and fallout remover will react, and then you agitate it a little bit, and it sort of releases that fallout / iron from the paint. And that's an important step in the process. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna clay bar the vehicle. And clay barring the vehicle, you might have heard this. And also, if you reference that how ceramic coating works video where the paint has the contaminants stuck in the paint, the clay bar will help remove that. And you use a lubrication, which you can use the same slip solution we use for clear bra. And then you use this clay bar until it feels smooth. Nothing I can show on video, but it will feel like there's resistance, and then it will suddenly get a smoother feel. There's a couple bits of contaminants in this. Again, going back to the video we talked about, like, why do you choose a professional to install versus do it yourself? A lot of times, if an aggressive clay bar is needed to remove the contaminants, it can, in some instances, leave some micro marring or scuffing of the paint that would require a polish to get out. And not everybody has that polisher available to them. All right, so the next step in the process, we've cleaned the car, clay barred, iron decontamination, all that kind of stuff. We've done it all. We're gonna start polishing. We see these swirls here. It's this is oxidation. This is oxidation. We talk about this in another video, but you can see the swirls. That happens a lot. This car had a car cover on it for years, so that car cover probably slapped against the paint, causing these swirls and or improper washing techniques. So a lot of times we would test and kind of determine what we think the right pad and compound combination would be. But in this case, knowing how deep these swirls are and the age of the vehicle, I know that I'm going to need to compound followed by a polish. So we start by compounding, and this is this is going to be a 2 or a 3 stage or 2 or 3 step correction. We're not going to be able to get by with just a polish. It's just not going to happen. Now, we're probably not going to be able to capture this on camera, but the reason it needs a second stage typically is because the rotary and the aggressive pad compound will leave micro scratches. I can see them here, but you won't be able to see them on camera. They're just too minor. It would only be on certain lights. But you can see still where the swirls and oxidation is here and kind of ends in this small area that we worked on. And so that would be our first stage or our first step. And we always reassess, so if it's not to the standard that we like, we can always come back and we'll hit it again. Or if for some reason the paint is very sensitive, it may require a third step, which would be a less aggressive polish or a less aggressive pad to finish it off. The last thing that we would do is we're going to ceramic coat it. And we haven't finished the whole car. This is just to show you. Again, we're using SB3 Solo here, but we wipe it on. And you might be able to see that wet look to it on video. And then we just buff it out with a really soft rag and minimal pressure. And we have like a glass-like surface right here.